Normally, I have a pretty good idea on the structure of these videos. Start with the beginnings, fill in the holes, and eventually conclude with the breakup and where everybody moved on to. For She Died Real Pretty, this felt impossible. There simply wasn't enough information for a video to be made, and boy did I try, scrapping 2 scripts I had. It reminded me of the haikus video. No videos for me to use, information wasn't concrete. That was until I reached out to guitarist Justin Valliere from New Forms to help make this video possible. I am very thankful for the information he provided, and I feel the story can now be properly told. With that being said, let's take a look into the story of She Died Real Pretty. She Died Real Pretty started in Derry, New Hampshire in the fall of 2005. Members included Donnie Moore on vocals, Brian Nyberg on drums, Justin Valliere on guitar, Derek LaMonica on guitar, and Brian Donovan on bass. Justin told me, She Died Real Pretty came to be a band through all 5 of us just being friends in high school. There were kids a grade above us that were really making the DIY scene a thing in southern New Hampshire. They would have shows in their parents' basements, VFW halls, and any space that allowed kids to make noise. We became friends going to local shows and thought, damn, we can do this? So we all started writing together. Most of us could hardly play our instruments. The whole project was created out of the sincere passion to express our young-minded frustrations with the world. Our worlds were very tiny at the age of 16. During their short tenure as a band, the boys played very few shows. The only one I could find on my own was the Alexander Carr Park Show in Barry, New Hampshire, sometime in 2006. Justin reflects on some memories he had playing shows. We played very few shows, one of which my dad, my nana, and my high school English teacher attended. That's the only show any of my parents came to, still to this day. We played a Hurricane Katrina benefit show at the Salem's Boys and Girls Club, which was a stacked lineup, an amazing spot for shows. This dude Ian put on some insane gigs on there back in the day. My favorite show we played was in the basement of John McCarthy's parents' house. It was supposed to be with Gospel, The Great Redneck Hope, and Bravo Fucking Bravo, I think. We opened, and I think only The Great Redneck Hope played before we got shut down. That show was a fucking blast, and that band was so fucking awesome. I met my good friend Hal Capone back then at the show. I tell Vinny from Gospel all the time how bummed I was as a kid that their van broke down and they couldn't make it to that show. More than a decade later, Gospel played my new band's record release show. What a world. Let's talk about the band's discography. The boys had released one EP, which included another CD with their demos, and a few splits that never seemed to happen. Let's start with their released EP, Carpe Diem is Dead. This released on January 2006 as a gatefold, with the second CD of demos titled Fucking Dead. Justin reflects on this release. One of the biggest memories of mine about the band is how in the time that we were making music, everything had to be immediate. We would practice in our vocalist's computer room at his parents' house. We would bring riffs to practice, jam, turn them into finished songs, record them on a computer stick microphone just sitting on the desktop, then immediately upload them to MySpace. For me, looking back at it was a very cringy band experience. But I also appreciate those recordings because they were quite literally a window into a moment of our teenage years in its rawest form. We only officially released an EP with decent quality recordings, but at the same time, we put all of those practice recordings on the second CD we included. I just think it's such an important example of using whatever we had to make music and put it out to the world. My guitar was some cheap piece of junk given to me by a friend. It's also interesting that there has been a moment with lo-fi screamo, where the kind of recordings we made out of necessity are trying to be imitated now. That's super cool to me. While there was only one release, there was a few unreleased works. First was the Hurt Tapes Summer Compilation tape. Not much is known about this other than they were featured. Their next unreleased split was with none other than Legend's I Wrote Haikus About Cannibalism in Your Yearbook. While the songs were recorded and ready to go, the song's subject matter brought some controversy, causing the split to not happen. Here's what Justin had to say on the matter. There was also a split in the works with I wrote haikus about cannibalism in your yearbook. One of the songs on the split had some lyrics concerning the war in the Middle East following 9/11. Whenever I had been asked about this, I always mentioned that our singer had a very conservative father, and I think the way those lyrics translated came from a place of genuine ignorance. He says something about the methods of execution being primitive compared to a guillotine, and refers to US soldiers as our good men. Even my lines, while not offensive in the least, completely prove I had no fucking idea what I was talking about. You say we're so different, yet we want the same things. I did not do well in high school outside anything art related, if that helps paint a picture of my understanding of global politics and history at the time. We had once watched some really graphic beheading videos at practice one day, and I remember personally being fucked up for weeks over it. So having seen that, and what I assume was the vocalist's view for current affairs trickling down through his father, is how the lyrics were written. I can say for 100% fact that every single member of that band has and always will be progressive people. My entire life has been dedicated to art and DIY, and there is no place whatsoever in these communities for prejudice in any way. It has been said at that time, the small label that was putting out the split decided to drop us for that song, which I completely understand. I will say though, before there was any communication about this, I remember chasing the person around for a while because they've kept pushing it off. Maybe they just weren't sure about having that conversation, or put us in our place. We were kids. We didn't know. Lastly, there was a split to be released with Nepathy, but never ended up happening. Yeah, it was supposed to happen, but I think we all broke up around the same time, and there was no label involved. Just something we were working towards. We were all friends. To end the story, let's take a look at the band's breakup. Justin told me, "She Died Real Pretty broke up because our vocalist was moving to Boston for school, and there was no way we were able to continue the band. Tensions were high at the time because we were kids, and I kind of took it personally when he didn't care to make it work. We had a weird tension about it for a little bit. The singer and I didn't talk for many years after the song controversy. After it had been pointed out to us by some older folks in the scene, we got very quiet because we had no idea what to do, and shortly after that, our vocalist was moving away. It just all fizzled out. After the band broke up, members played in bands such as Alessa, Chewed Out, and The Jump Off. Justin currently plays in the band New Forms, and they are awesome. I highly recommend them. Fast forward to June 2024, Don Toliver released the song Tore Up off his album Heartstone Psycho, where he sampled the song Industry Sets In. In conclusion, She Died Real Pretty's story is a reflection of youthful ambition, creative expression, and the DIY spirit that defined their brief existence. Born out of friendship and raw passion, their music was created in the moment, with lo-fi recordings capturing the essence of their teenage frustrations. Despite playing only a few shows and releasing limited material, their journey was marked by memorable experiences and unfulfilled potential, including canceled splits and controversial lyrics. The band's breakup came as a result of personal tensions and life changes, but their influence still lingers, showing how even short-lived projects can leave a lasting impact. She Died Real Pretty's legacy is a testament to the power of youthful expression, the importance of community, and the unpredictable nature of the DIY scene. Thank you for watching. A special thank you to Justin for making this video possible. Without his input, this video could not have been made.